Hey guys, this is Filter Strain back in the studio. This week I'm going to do another boot photograph, but instead of doing the boots themselves, I'm going to concentrate on the shoe polish and do sort of a detail shot with the boots as a background element in the frame. Stick with me. So I really liked how last week's photograph turned out, and I really wanted to kind of stick with the shoe shining theme or story with this photograph. But instead of doing the boots themselves, I know I need some details for my promo, so I thought I'd work on one of my detail photographs this week. I'm going to concentrate on mainly the shoe polish and use the boot as a background element in the scene. And my goal is to do maybe one or two photographs. I might just sort of play around with a few different things and shoot one main photograph and take the camera off the stand or move it around a little bit and take a few more secondary shots, or I may reset the scene entirely and do a second shot totally from scratch. We'll see how it goes though. So instead of using my tripod, I'm going to use my 2 light stands and pole method that I like to do top downs with. On the back end, it connects directly to the light stand. On this end, I've got a super clamp. In the center, I've got a super clamp with a ball head and the camera attached to it. Since I shoot tethered to my computer, I can use the computer to shift focus. I can also use live view in the computer to see what I'm doing compositionally. Alternatively, I just climb up and down a ladder and look directly through the viewfinder. So this is my starting point right now. I've got one of my lights behind a diffusion panel right here that's going to light the overall scene, and I've got my second light bouncing off of the ceiling in this room to act as a general fill. Things may move around, things may change, but at least I've got everything set kind of the way I want. I think I've got the height for the camera pretty close right off the bat, which is nice. Everything on the table is just really randomly put on here. I did put the main polish that I want to focus on in the scene kind of about in the place that I wanted to put it, but other than that, everything needs to be moved. The majority of my time will be spent either moving all the things that are on the table and composing those in a way that I like, or minutely moving the lights so that they're creating the right kind of reflections and glares that I want on the scene itself. But this is a good starting point. A main key light, a fill light, and all the products that I'm planning on using in the frame. If I want to fill in the frame a little bit more, I've got a few rags with shoe polish on them that I can kind of tuck in here and there, but I think that I'm pretty set with what I've got so far. Alright, let's get going. So I put a little washer and some blue goo up underneath the main polish, and I'm trying to lean it just a little bit towards the diffusion panel to create a gradiated light from the word Saphir and getting darker to the R. There's a nice gradiated light on this bottle, but I don't want it to pull attention away from the main subject in the frame. So I'm just trying to create a little bit better light on the main subject. Really, I've got everything where I want it to be, so the rest of the time I'm going to spend just sort of dialing in the light exactly the way I want it to be. If worst case scenario, I will end up using a composite and I'll hold some type of card or something like that in this general area to kind of create a nicer light. And if it gets really, really bad, I'll create it in post, but I'd prefer not to have to do that. So I did end up adding a second flag, but I just flagged the very corner of the frame where the light was hitting the edge of the shoe. It was on the very, very corner of the frame, really distracting to the eye, and I wanted to take that out. I decided to leave this area as is. I like the way the lighting's hitting it, and I'll just burn down this area in Photoshop and just darken it a little bit to draw more attention to this. With this one flag right here, I was able to cut out all the highlight on this one lid right here, and it really started to draw the attention towards the main polished bottle here. So I took a little bit of a break, and then I came back to take a look at it with fresh eyes. I moved a few things around. In particular, I switched the shoe and this bottle right here, and I moved a few of the other bottles to kind of cut off some of the straight lines that were developing in the frame. I really like the shot as it is. I think I'm going to keep it and finish it up. When I get done with that, I'm going to take the camera off of the stand above me, and I'm going to just take either some freehand shots or grab the tripod and take some other shots while I've got everything set up in place. So I think that wraps everything up with this particular shot. I took the camera off the stand and then took several pictures. In the end, I ended up taking down the light stand / pole that I was using to hold the camera with so that I could move around the scene a little bit easier. I've got several shots, probably somewhere between 6 and 8 shots that I like pretty good. I'll probably weed that down to 3 or 4 shots that might look a little bit more in line with the images that I've shot already for this series of shots. So between those shots and the first shot or the main shot that I did, I think I probably got 4 or 5 good shots that I'll end up showing you guys. So here's what the final image looks like of the top down. And here are the rest of the images in the group. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.